Awesome. And we're recording. So nice to meet everyone. I'm sure at some point I've messaged each of you, or we had some back and forth. My name is Gary. I'm one of the co-founders of WineView, and we pretty much do everything wine clubs, as well as recently we've even had beer clubs, cheese clubs. It's expanded a lot. So we built the platform to be everything pretty much memberships and club related. I looked at everybody's accounts beforehand, and I'm pretty sure everyone here is a Toast customer. So I'll be sure to dive into what that integration looks like, how to set that up, etc. But typically how I run these is I kind of go in order, kind of on the screen you'll see here from left downward. We'll start with kind of basic club setup types, inventory, perks, how that kind of ties into the system. What do you do when you get your first couple members? How do you check them in? Fulfillment we can touch on. I think as well, everybody's pretty new here. So I typically recommend doing a follow-up call. That way, when you actually have members, it'll make a lot more sense, because fulfillment is, when do they pick up? Market has picked up. We'll do the basics, but it can be complex if you do shipping as well. And of course, the integrations with Toast, adding team members, basic theme setups, etc. So as I mentioned before, feel free to pop, questions in the chat at any time. I'm going to open the floor at the end for any questions. But yeah, like I said, we keep it laid back, and I'll kind of start off right now. So first things first, we're going to start about club setup types. So it's pretty flexible. A lot of ways you can set this up, but I'm going to do like what I consider the most traditional setup, which is a regular monthly charge. They get a certain amount of things, and the fulfillment's the same. So we're going to go ahead and hit add club here. And once you set up your first club too, in case you want to experiment, it's super easy to duplicate, to try different, pricing formats, etc. But we'll go ahead and just duplicate one to make it easy here. The social club. Awesome. So this first screen is going to be pretty basic stuff. It's your title of the club. What's the description? What can members expect to get? Pretty basic information. AI is everywhere right now. So if you really want to just feed your website in, to any system, sometimes they can come up with the descriptions, but this is pretty basic stuff here. Next question is pickup or shipping. Pickup, if you're a retail location, is usually what people go with, because shipping creates a whole nother dimension. We support integrations. We can do shipping. That's fine. But in this case, in demo, we'll do pickup. And if I'm skipping over shipping and somebody wants that covered, just message in the chat and I'll circle back around. Okay, so this is the next choice. If this is like a physical item club, so one thing we've seen, you don't have to actually fulfill physical items anymore. It can literally just be a general membership. But in case you are a traditional wine club, there's two options here. You can say, we're going to choose what goes in each order, and that's that. Like, people don't get to select and change and everything. Or you can make it a member choice club. And so what that means is each fulfillment cycle, let's say it's a monthly club, they'll get an email that says, hey, we've picked out these 4 wines for you. If you want it, great, hit confirm or do nothing. Or they can even customize based off the inventory count. If you use Toast, it's all live data. So that's something to offer that's a little bit more member fluid, if you will. So we'll go ahead and go to the next screen. Okay, so this is the pricing and fulfillment screen. So we do break billing and fulfillment out. And all fulfillment means is how often are they going to be able to redeem or do certain things with your membership. So billing, super flexible. You can bill them monthly, every other month, quarterly, semi-annually, so on and so forth. So if you do want to duplicate this club and change it to an annual billing, you can do so. Because we've seen a lot of clubs recently, they'll offer both a monthly and an annual membership. That way you can already have that card information locked in. But we'll stick with monthly, keep it simple for now. And then we have fulfillment. So this is if they're picking up items or they need to be there at a certain time. That would be what this schedule is. And of course, this is going to have to be monthly since they're being billed so frequently. So then you just set the price. What's the minimum that they're going to be paying each month? We have it as a member choice. So if they add extra items on, it will charge their card the difference. So that's why it's like a starting at price, in case that's something you want to do. Sign up fee one time. If you want to throw in like a $10, $20 sign up fee, usually that's for like merch, tote bags, corkscrews, ball caps, etc. You can do that as well. And then fulfillment. So there's really just 2 options here. You can have them all grouped together. They're all going to be charged on the 1st of each month in this case, or we can set it to where it bills them on the date that they join. So if I sign up today in this setup, I would be billed on the 8th of every month. Or with the other one, you're going to charge everybody on the 1st, no matter when they sign up. Which means if they do sign up, then they will be charged date and then also on the 1st. All right, cool. So we'll do it as a group billing. How many days you start fulfilling? If it's not a huge deal, you can just say 1 day in, it doesn't matter. But if you need some time to collect the orders, you can do that. That's what this setting's for. And then this is like, do you want people to be able to join in the middle of a fulfillment cycle? That's if you have like low inventory, or that's kind of a tricky thing. Most people just let people sign up during fulfillment period, honestly. And if it is member choice, you can say how many days do we want to give them to make a selection. Most people do like a week. If you do curated, you don't have to do any of this. It just skips right across it. Okay, so this next screen is inventory. So this is for everybody that's using Toast. This is where Toast does tie in. We'll say how many bottles, or in some cases, how many blocks of cheese, or et cetera, will they be receiving per month. So in this case, it's a monthly club. We usually see that be about 2. And you can require customers to choose at least this many, but they can technically go 0. So for clubs that don't actually have physical items, you wouldn't want this box checked. The inventory here, that ties into Toast. We'll cover that here in a second, but this is all going to be live data. So when you actually fulfill it, it will deplete for you. Yeah, this page is pretty straightforward. It's the pickup address. So if you're a single unit, this is straightforward. If you're multi-unit, you can have several addresses. That's a whole separate conversation with MLM, which you can contact me with on a separate conversation. It's just a bigger thing. And then the default pickup note, this is every time you say, hey, this is ready for pickup, or it's being fulfilled, or your membership is ready, this is the default email that will be sent out. So if you do like pickup parties or special events or anything like that, that will go into this section here. Okay, so this is the next piece that ties into Toast as well. This is kind of, I mean, it's very important actually to know the differences between these perks. So there's 3 types of perks, and then all of them are listed. So the first one I'll cover is the easiest. It's just a benefit. Think of it this is text-based. This is nothing that you need to track, or there's no inventory. It's literally just something you want to put on the club itself so people can see what they're getting. So it's like text-based, that's it. Then there's the actual discount. So for those that use Toast, you'll set up your discount in Toast first. In this case, it's 10%, let's say. And then when you add the discount into WineView, you will have the ability, we'll click discount here, to select which Toast discount that this applies to. So we can see this is the social club, 10% off the entire check. So that way, when I check this member in, that is going to automatically be applied to their check. All right, and the third and final one is called an item. So for those of you who are planning on doing a free flight, a free tasting, free charcuterie board, this is what you want to have set up as an item. So we'll say it's 1 free tasting per month. In that case, you'll do item, you'll name it whatever you like. If you want to link it to an inventory item in Toast, you can. That's up to you. You don't have to. It's optional. But this is the important part here. So this max quantity, we said 1. So we're going to click 1. And the redemption cycle, in this case, is monthly because it's a monthly club. Great. So that means I can walk in as a member and redeem 1 free flight per month. If I come in next week, I've already redeemed it. It won't allow me to do so. So this is important if you want to track that and prevent members from potentially trying to double dip or trick the system, if you will. And it auto resets. It doesn't carry over. It's a pretty smart system there. Cool. So once we have the perks and benefits picked out, we'll go next. This one's easy. Images, usually, product shots, places of your establishment, not just the product that you're selling. It's good to kind of create ambiance, but that's images. We recommend at least 3. And then this is the last screen. So this is membership availability. I know everybody wants to have as many members as possible. That's great. But in the early days, sometimes you can create a little bit of FOMO. If you do cap it, you can always change this number. You can always change it to unlimited. So don't worry about not being able to change this. But if you do want to create a sense of FOMO, you could potentially limit it because this counts down actively as people sign up. This one I won't spend too much time on, but you can add tags to your club. Eventually, we will be pushing a kind of like Airbnb, but for wine clubs and other clubs platform. So that's where you would tag this up with searchable items as a way to potentially attract new members. And then cancellation policy. So you can allow them to cancel online, in which case you can put late fees, etc., or you can just turn that off to have them cancel in person. And you can customize the cancellation policy here. Right. After that, you'll review your details, make sure everything looks good, and then you'll hit create club, at which point our team will review it just to make sure there's no major errors, and you're good to go. So once it's approved, you'll see it has been shifted to active. We'll go ahead and view public page. So the view that you're about to see is actually what your members will see if they go to your website, click on join club, etc. So this is the member experience. So everything we just put together, the images, the tags, the pricing, the frequency, the description, how many bottles, everything that we just did is now in this section. So this is the member facing. It is mobile optimized too, so it's very mobile friendly. But let's say I got an email newsletter blast from you. I click join now. I'm going to do local pickup. I would enter my card details here. At which point I would get a notification that me as a member, I'm signed up, I get an email, congrats, etc. I also now have an account, which will live in my clubs. So this is member facing, but you will also get an email. And when you do, it'll say so-and-so just signed up, at which point you can find their membership information here. So we're back on this admin side. Again, for those who use Toast, this is going to be the page that you add to your terminals and handhelds. That way you can check people in, add people, have the whole system tied together. So the steps to do that, and I'll do it verbally, is you will go to your handheld or terminal. You'll go to the web browser, little icon, like you're opening Google on a phone, pretty much. You will go to wineviewclubs.com. You'll log in, like we did just now, like you would log in typically, and then you'll navigate to this members page. Once you're there, you're just going to hit the three dots in the top right of the actual Google page and add it to your home screen, like a web browser extension. And so that way, when I walk in as a member, your staff members on the handheld, and I'm like, hey, I'm a wine club member, they can click on that extension, which will open this page. When this page is open, you will see all the members listed, and they can search here by name, etc. And let's say Carla, for example, is in here. I'm a staff member. I'm going to say, great. Nice to see you, Carla. I'm going to check you in real quick. And we can see here, this pops up. So this discount that we set, 20% off, complimentary wine tasting flight. Let's say I'm going to redeem this. You would select, great. Which one are they redeeming? This is pretty granular. You don't have to do this particular demo account. You can go even more specific and say what they redeemed, but you could just say they're redeeming one of their two. So if I hit start check-in, this is now going to, you're done with WineView at this point. So the staff member swipes out and they go to the actual Toast POS point on the handheld or terminal. A check will be opened with Carla Nelson as the name. The discount will automatically be applied to that check, as well as notating if they are redeeming one of their free flights. At this point, you're done with WineView. So they've swiped out, you're on the Toast piece. When I pay with my card or whatever, it's going to automatically close this checkout. I'm going to do it manually, but it'll close automatically. And this will keep a record of what they purchased, how much they spent, etc. Okay. So that's the membership check-in side. You have a bunch of other stuff like details of their card information, when did they join, when's their next billing cycle, redemption. You can go as granular and as in detail as you like. We do track a lot of customer information, which is nice for like loyalty and everything, as well as fulfillment. Do they have something that's there ready to be picked up? You can there'll be a notification here, and then customer notes, like they call in and say, hey, I'm picking up next month, or I'm out sick, or etc. Cool. So that's the member section. The only other thing I think is pretty cool. So we went through the member facing, if I sign up on your website or whatever, let's say that I'm at your establishment and the staff member does a great job talking up the club, and they're like, you know what, I want to join. Most people, they don't want to pull out their phone, scan a QR code, sign up on your website while they're at your place of business. So the staff member will just hit add member. and they'll enter pretty much their name. They'll of course have to ask for the email, phone number, date of birth. These are optional, but I do recommend collecting it. What club are they going to join if you have multiple options? And they'll just enter the card details, add member, and that's it. So the member will be charged. They'll get an email letting them know that they've been signed up. You'll obviously get an email. It's the same process, just a way to do it manually, which of course, once this is added to your handheld and terminals, you can do so there. Awesome. And final thing, you can also at any point download all the customers, whether they're live, they're canceled. If you want to do like marketing campaigns to try and win people back, let them know that there's a new release, that sort of thing. Awesome. So I'll come back to fulfillment. Like I said, that's a bigger section. So I'll just kind of go through some of the higher level stuff as well. And of course, I'm just going to check the chat real quick, see if anybody has any questions. Nothing. Okay, you guys are an easy group. Sometimes at this point, I'm being bombarded by questions. So hopefully everything's tracking. And this is obviously recorded. I'm going to send this out to everybody afterward because I know we are covering quite a lot. Cool. So the next piece, and again, I will come back to fulfillment on the payment side. So we do Stripe Connect. If you haven't set this up already, this is how you take members and payments. So this does need to be set up. It's one of the early things we try and push the accounts to do. But when this is enabled, this is where you'll get a snapshot of what's your monthly recurring revenue. Even if it's a quarterly club, we do calculate and say, okay, this is what that comes down to. What's the available balance? What's the total number of payouts? Detailed transaction history. All of that will live in this section here. Team. So if you do, and I do recommend if you have Toast, adding this to the handheld and terminals, you'll want to create a dedicated account solely for checking members in and processing fulfillment for obvious reasons. You don't want staff members going and seeing how much money you're making, all the payment payouts, etc. So in this team section, you can create different roles where you can, let's say, yes, staff. That's a good one, but I'll show real quick creating a role. We'll do staff. Really, the only two permissions that a staff member needs to have is order management, which means they can say someone picked up their wine, as well as customer management. View customers, which means they can check people in and manage customer notes. That's really it. Everything else, you can add as much as you like, but this is like the core functionality for like the handheld and terminal piece. So once that role is created, you'll have all the roles listed here. And you can just invite one email. It's one that you control. You'll just add the email, select the role, and invite them. Once that account's created, you can log into that same account on every device. You don't have to create an individual one for each. You can log in from as many times as you want. Okay. Email. So this is going to be a little more robust. So I won't spend too much time here. This will be changed in the next month or two. You can't edit the emails as of now. We just do core emails. So when they sign up, they get an email. When it's ready for pickup or it's been shipped, they get an email. When it's time to make their selection, if it's a member choice, they get an email. Payment failed. Like we're going to do automated stuff. That's what we do right now to try and help you out. Eventually, you will be able to edit these and do more proactive marketing. It's just this section right now isn't like super built out. So if you want, you can put an email in here and see what the emails will look like, but that's pretty much all this section's for. So the last thing I'll cover before I jump into fulfillment and the Toast integration specifically is the settings. So in the theme part of the settings, you can upload your logo, do your branding colors, really just to make the page look a little bit more like your own. And if we go to the top right and click View Public Profile, this is automatically created for you if you have multiple clubs. This is the link that you can send people to that if they want to kind of check out what kind of different clubs you have, and you can see the logos there, the accents are the branding colors, etc. We also create QR codes for you. So if you click here, we auto-generate a QR flyer that you can print if you want to have people be able to scan that and sign up. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so now I'm going to cover just the high-level Toast integration. I'll just kind of go step by step. So if we click on integrations, we can see this particular account. We have Toast already connected. If not, a couple things, we'll have to enable that for you. There's two separate apps. There's the WineView, and then there's the WineView Clubs. The one that you need is WineView Clubs. So a lot of people enable the WineView one. A causes a bunch of headaches. We're working with Toast on getting those two consolidated. But long story short, if you want this enabled and you don't already have it, just shoot me an email, gary@wineview.com, and we'll get that process started. It usually takes like 1 or 2 days. And you'll need to be subscribed to the Toast partner integration piece, which is like $25 a month, I think. If you have any other integrations turned on, you already have it. But once that's done, the steps are super simple. You'll have an ID, you'll copy it, paste it into the integration in Toast, and now it's connected. What you do from there is as follows. So we're going to go to the inventory section. This is where you can add any inventory that you want to track from your Toast system in WineView. So we're going to go ahead and hit the plus icon here. And you'll see a button once you've connected Toast, import from Toast. And pretty much every item that's in your Toast POS is going to be available. We are experimenting with some AI in here where we can go ahead and pre-select all of the items we identify as wine. It's not perfect, so I do recommend doing it manually for now. But pretty much you can search items, you can scroll down if you've organized them by category. So anyway, this is where you select, these are the things I want to track in WineView. When you pick them out, you click sync however many items you have, and that's where they'll live here. So we pull a couple different things, and this is all live data. So anytime you update the price, the available stock, that all updates frequently. But one thing I want to highlight here is the reserve section. And this will make more sense when I show fulfillment. But as you start fulfilling orders, this will reserve certain amounts of inventory for that order. And this is, the reason we reserve it and we don't instantly deplete it is because this never fails to not happen. Someone will come in and they will, even if you're a curated club, they're like, you know what, let me swap this bottle out at the last second. And so when you actually say, hey, this person picked up their order, we're going to ask you one more time. Okay, great. Did they pick up what you said or did they pick up something else? And so if you flip flop them, totally fine. It'll put the bottle back and it'll deplete the appropriate inventory. So it's kind of like a middle stage, just so you don't have constant adding and unadding of wines. And then we'll have the actual available based off of that calculation. And if you ever want to disconnect it for whatever reason, you just hit this little trash can icon. You can technically add items manually if you don't have Toast, or for whatever reason you don't want it to be in the Toast POS, you can just click add manual item. And it's very similar to any other system. You put the name, price, SKU, quantity, etc. Cool. Perks section. This is pretty much all the perks that live here. You can add them here while you're setting up your club. It's up to you. This is where you'll edit perks though. So you'll click edit and we can do a couple different edits to the description, which POS discount it applies to in Toast, etc. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go and go to fulfillment here. And let me shift to this screen. Okay. All right, so this is your fulfillment page. This is going to be where if you have obviously you're fulfilling your club, if you're fulfilling physical items, this is the section that you'll do like to say, hey, your order's ready for pickup. This is where you're going to select your items, etc. So you'll see on the left here, we have the actual club. So if you have multiple clubs, in this case, we only have one, you'll have which club are we fulfilling. So in this case, we'll click here, which fulfillment cycle. So if it's a monthly club, every month you're going to have a fulfillment cycle, or we can click, hey, this is a new one. This is our current period, start cycle. And then here's all the members that we have to fulfill. So we'll go ahead and say, we're just going to process one for now. We'll do Gary. This screen will pop up and it's pretty much just asking you, okay, great, what's in this order, right? For this particular club. And we can see here, which wines we have. So we have red wine. We need 2. That's great. We have unlimited. And we can even swap out. We can see here like this Arnice is out of stock. It'll tell us actively, okay, we have none available. So it won't let you fulfill this. That's where the Toast integration is helpful, is that way you're not oversubscribing or giving wines out that you just don't have anymore. And so we can swap out and say we want to do bubbles. And so once you've selected this, you can add even more pickup notes that'll go out in the order for whatever reason. And this is going to be automatically checked. If you mark order ready for pickup, I'm going to get an email as the customer. But if you're like, they don't need an email, but you can uncheck that. We're going to mark this ready for pickup. Great. And you can see this status change for this particular member. So it's now ready for pickup. So let's say I get the notification, you have a pickup party next Friday. I show up, I pick up my wine, and you're like, that's fantastic. Let me go ahead and check you in. Go to this section. Thanks, Gary. Oh, I decided to swap out my wines. I want to actually do the Cab Sauv. Instead, I want 2 of those. I'm going to process this pickup. And now it's been fulfilled. So now the actual inventory will deplete because I did a switcheroo at the end. And this will keep a complete history and timeline here. So we can see when was the particular member created, when was it marked ready for pickup, and when did they pick it up. And this is important because you're going to have people that don't show up. They're 3 months late. They said they didn't pick it up, but they did. You have it verified right here. So there are a couple different scenarios where this is going to be important to keep up to date. And it's okay if you are late on this. Let's say if you're in a rush and you're like, hey, look, we don't want to manage this system while we have 50 people picking up. That's cool. You can always download your member list, put little check marks, and then come in here and do it retroactively. You can do it 2 months later. It doesn't lock you out or anything, so it's pretty flexible. Cool. So I will pause there and open the floor to any questions. I don't see anything in the chat, so feel free to unmute yourselves, firing away any questions. I'm happy to dive into anything a little bit more in depth.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, Bree.
So if we don't have any fulfillment needs, really, is it okay to not, like, how do we not use that?
Sure. Just don't use it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I have several people that just like never do it, and it'll say passed, but there's not going to be any like, hey, you need to do this. So just ignore it.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it makes your life easier. You have a very simple setup.
Yeah, it's just the in-store perks. So
cool. Yeah, once you configure those, you'll be good to go.
okay, awesome.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Amanda, anybody else? Everybody good? Cool.
I have a question.
Sure, fire away.
Do you set up like a time from like 2 to 4 p.m. to pick up the wines? Like on, I know Mandy was talking about doing like a wine club Wednesday type thing for us for pickups. Is that when we would say the hours? In case like people are on and they're serving, do we have an additional person there to check people in so that it's not taking away from running the floor, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best thing to do there is in those pickup notes, we can manage this from fulfillment settings. We have the default pickup message. So at every point of communication, we want to make sure that language is represented saying, important, please remember the pickup window is between Wednesday, 1 and 3 p.m. Okay. Go to the hostess stand. Like you can be super specific with these instructions as well as during fulfillment. If we see these, hold on, where'd it go? When I'm actually fulfilling a member, we can say in this pickup notes that you can reiterate that message again as you're actually fulfilling. And you can even put it in the description. Like I would put it everywhere, honestly, if it's that important, as well as there's so many places you can put it. If you go to settings, you'll see business description. You can put that as well, which will go here, right here. So at every touch point, I would recommend putting that messaging. And then I would recommend too, especially if you're busy, like have a dedicated terminal. And that way, just like if they train your staff, like, hey, if somebody asks about picking up wine club, please direct them to the hostess stand, ask for so-and-so, and then kind of go from there. It'd be like the management station.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. I don't see anything else in the chat either. And man, we were very efficient. You guys are like the easiest group ever. Sometimes these things go an hour and a half. So yeah, I mean, like I said, these are recorded. I'll go ahead and end it for now if there's no other questions. But pretty much, if there's any questions at all during setup,